Previously on Lost.
Hello. This
and
is
greetings.
I'm trying out new intros.
Why?
Well, I mean, how do you break ice with the smoke monster?
Okay, that's one way of doing it. Well, I'm still Fellonius the Wizard. I haven't changed, and we are still in previously on Lost.
But not for
Season
long.
6. No, we are so eager to just watch this and talk about it, and so we are actually doing some recordings almost back to back.
Yeah. But you'll still get them every week. So
As usual.
we watched episodes 12, 13, and 14. And
Yes.
12 was Everybody Loves Hugo.
Yes, and number
probably-
13 was The Last Recruit.
And then 14 was The Candidate.
Yeah, and to be totally honest, I didn't grab the title in the two last ones.
Okay. We can.
We
I can tell you for sure the last one where it is. I noted that down, but Everybody Loves Hugo is pretty obvious.
Yep.
So once again, we have the flash sideways where Desmond is going around trying to awaken people or
Yep.
whatever you want to call it. And then on the island, we have this coming to a head of these teams, or
Yeah.
we're headed towards some conflict. So maybe we can. What did you find anything interesting in the flash sideways? Did you like the Hugo story?
I like the Hugo story thanks to Libby.
Yeah.
I must say, because Libby, well, the actor doesn't seem to be a perfect lady or in anything. Her one eye is actually bigger than the other and such. I really like her as an actor as well. But she also radiates love to poor Hugo, and he doesn't even know her in the good one. And in the bad one, he's actually talking to a grave and she doesn't answer. So I like to see Libby again. Actually, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I did. I forgot this was happening. I really liked how she's still in the mental place, but it's different circumstances.
Yep.
And Hurley is not and has never been in Santa Rosa.
No.
I can't say that this. I mean, really, basically, Hurley Libby awakens Hurley, so Desmond doesn't have to do anything.
Yes, that's the cool stuff, and so it's also not really in line with what I thought about the story. I thought Des was going to do all the work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it sort of parallels the on island stuff, but it's not like as much of a mirror as the old.
No.
Or as the last one, yeah.
Yeah, but sort of. If we just watch Hugo, what's happening on the island, he's taking control. What's happening on the good side, he's actually starting to lose control. He doesn't really know this girl, but he likes it, and he doesn't really know how to do stuff. And on the bad timeline, he's actually just doing stuff. So I'll say it's a bit of a balance still.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I don't really have any major commentary on the flash sideways though.
There was one thing that I thought they should avoid, but they did. Picnic on the beach.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, okay, let's continue from where we were.
Yeah.
And it worked. It actually worked. But when I saw it, I had some really nasty things going down my spine.
Oh, I liked it. I felt moved by the moment when they kissed, and I should say I did like that the Marvin Candle guy, of all the different names, was announcing Hurley's Man of the Year. So,
Yep.
So apparently after Dharma, he went to work for Hurley, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
So
Otherwise, that isn't more than in the end of that episode. Des runs over Locke.
yeah,
We can save that if we want to.
yeah. I mean, there's not much to say about it because it's pretty quick. Ben I liked Ben sort of asking why is Desmond watching a schoolyard, and it was certainly filmed in a time where that was becoming more and more, public awareness.
Yes.
So
yes. We have the same stuff going on in Sweden. So, yeah, I understood why Ben was actually asking. But let's go over to the island just for a short kaboom.
Yeah. Well, since you said it,
there is actually two of them. So
well, they're.
I got a creeper feeling. I'm playing too much Minecraft. So there was actually a creeper feeling pretty early.
Yeah, there's definitely a disagreement between the group of whether they should blow up the plane or they should leave the island.
Yeah.
And Hurley basically gets a visit from Michael. I forgot that was going to happen.
Yeah, that was actually a real surprise, among other stuff. He was talking to Libby's grave, and Michael shows up. I didn't even know that he was dead. Of course he is. He's dead because he was inside that boat who blew to pieces. Yet another kaboomy.
Yeah.
So I had totally forgot that he was dead as such.
Yeah, we mentioned it last week, wondering if he was going to show up or not. So here he is. We'll get more of him next episode, though.
Oh, yeah. But I didn't understand why him. I mean, if there's anyone who should convince Hugo about anything, Michael should be the least one.
Well, because Michael was the one who shot Libby, and this is his chance to say sorry, maybe? It kind of ties. Himself. Yeah. Sort of.
Well, yeah, it's okay. I'm not saying that there should be any other. I can't just pinpoint any other for it, but I don't know. I mean, Walt can be not dead and still show himself, so perhaps Walt should be one, but he's not convincing enough.
Yeah, and he's still aging. He's older, so he doesn't look like Walt, and I don't think. Yeah, I can't think of anyone else that would have been like a perfect fit to show up. So
there is, however, as you say, a bit of a disorder between them. Ilana has gone with Richard. We are going to blow this thing up. She goes away, fetches some dynamite from Black Rock, and the discussion continues. And suddenly. A creeper comes.
Yeah, this was actually really disappointing because we were building her up, like we didn't get to see her backstory, and then boom, she's blown up like Arts.
Yeah,
that was a little disappointing to me.
Yeah, and she's also a driving person. That is, she's actually pulling the story forward. Together with Richard and of course the others as well. But the thing is, it is unstable, that dynamite. Perhaps that's not the best source to go by.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I guess if you think like, okay, now that Hurley is doing what Jacob wants, the island's done with Ilana, she doesn't need to protect him anymore.
That's what they say. Ben says that. Ilana... The island is done with. The island is done with Ilana.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't really. I was disappointed by that, but it's fine. They need to focus on our other characters.
Oh yes, there is still too many, and they are pulling them in and out as fast as they can. And meanwhile, back on the other group, Locke is able to meet Des. And at the same time, Kate and Sawyer is very impatient. And I didn't understand what the heck it was all about, but we are getting the answer to that later on in the next later episode. They just want to go on with it, just do something. So, and then back to the other again. Let's go and fetch some more dynamite. And that's Richard, right?
Richard, Ben, and Miles. Well, actually, they all go at first, actually.
Yeah.
And Hurley kind of slips away and blows up the Black Rock.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Well, I wasn't surprised. Not at all.
No.
And then we went back and saw Des and John, and that wasn't much to talk about. They didn't actually give us anything more than that Desmond seems to know something about Locke, or the Man in Black, we should say.
Yeah, he seems awfully like...
laid back.
yeah, very laid back. That's a great word. And like smiling. And
yeah.
So I'm not sure if he knows what's going to happen or if he's just resigned to it, or I don't understand how he's acting right now.
No, but as we said before in our last episode, we don't really know what Desmond was experiencing both in the CAT scan and in the electromagnetic disturbance where he was sat. We don't know if he saw something. We don't even know if he was traveling through time, seeing something later on. Mm-hmm. And that means that he will have to survive to get to that point in his life. So that might actually, yes, I was just thinking that, it's like I'm immortal. It doesn't matter what you do. You cannot kill me.
Yeah, that's like what we talked about in season 3 or 2 when he like he knew how Charlie was going to die, so anything that happened up to that point, we know he wouldn't die, kind of thing. Yeah, that's a good idea.
It seems like this is also the same thing, and I could go with that. I had no problems with it, actually. So
then basically Richard, Ben, Miles, they're going to go off. They still want to destroy the plane. Yeah. And the rest...
Now, that made me a bit, I don't know. Suddenly they realized Dharma has more explosives and grenades and stuff. Mm-hmm. Now, wouldn't it be much easier to go to Dharma first instead of that unstable dynamite?
Yeah. I would.
It felt like we need to see a big kaboom where the ship goes off. We shouldn't be. We didn't need that. I didn't need it anyway.
No, I mean, to disable a plane, you really just need one explosion.
Yeah, at the right point. And you can just put it inside an engine or whatever. You don't need much. Mm-hmm. And nevertheless, we saw it. Richard, Ben followed him, right?
Yeah, Ben and Miles.
Ben and Miles. And that's the last we saw of them for these episodes.
Yep. Yep.
I was actually sitting there waiting. When will they come back? Mm-hmm. But it did go rather fast. I mean, it was like they split in the middle of the day and afternoon, and then suddenly we are jumping like, I don't know, 12, 13 hours ahead. That's it. So if they just go to the Dharma, and we know that lies way back, it will take some time, and then they have to go to the Hydra themselves.
Yeah.
So we might see them next time. You never know.
And I like the next part. So this is the whispers come again. Yeah. And now I think Hurley says what they are.
Together with Michael.
Yeah. He says these are people that are dead and they're stuck on the island. They're not able to move on because of their actions.
Yes. And that's probably also why Michael trying to redeem himself. We don't know.
Yeah. So far on the island, we've had this discussion a bunch of times. So Michael's definitely a ghost, not the Man in Black.
Exactly.
Who else is an actual ghost though?
That's a lot of them. There's probably a lot of them.
Okay.
And to be totally honest, anything that the Man in Black says from now on, from several episodes back, I don't trust him a bit. Mm-hmm. I don't believe him. No way. It's like when Ben opens his mouth. I don't believe him either. Mm-hmm. But in this case, I do not believe the new John Locke.
Yeah, well, and he's got Desmond, and he takes Desmond to a well. And he claims that Widmore's not interested in getting answers, but just in getting power.
Yeah, It's a lie. I don't buy that.
Okay.
It might be true, but I didn't buy it the way he presented it.
I think it's somewhere in between. He's protecting the island. He doesn't care about personal power at the moment,
Nope.
but he's also not interested in answers.
Exactly.
And then the Man in Black pushes Desmond in, and
Yep.
I thought, oh no, that he can't have killed him.
Nope.
Now the well is where the wheel is, right?
Yep. It might be this one, yes, but it should be back at the Orchid Station.
Yeah, there must,
that well.
because he does say something about multiple wells, right?
Yes, so this is
Okay.
just one of them. And it's not as deep as I thought, which we were going to see later on in a later episode again.
Yeah.
It's all connecting. It's all connecting. I like that. Let's see. Yeah, it's a wow factor that I say that this is going down the well, but I was pretty confident, so I wrote he's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, let's see. Hugo and his gang with Jack and all the others suddenly meets up with Locke because they need to talk to him. Mm-hmm. And that's about it.
Yeah.
That's about it. And all the time, the story is just lingering and drawing slowly. And meanwhile, many more is gathering in the good timeline, having not such a good time anymore. and when Desmond suddenly he just revs up that beamer, I was, what are you doing? You can't just. Yes, you could. Okay. That was impressive.
And he's not, so Ben wasn't on the plane, and he's not after Ben. He doesn't even recognize Ben. He's just there for Locke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense, but
Yeah.
it is kind of a shame that Ben is not really integral to anything in the other timeline.
But that means that he's a loose cannon. We don't know what he might end up doing. He's already killed Jacob. I mean, that guy is really nuts. And I like it. I like to have him like that.
So the next episode is The Last Recruit, and
Yep.
I agree with you. I'm not really sure why this particular episode is named that.
Nope.
Because I feel like if you talk about the Flash Sideways, Jack, Kate, Sawyer, there's several of them that haven't awakened yet.
Nope.
And on the island, there's not really. I mean, I guess maybe at the end where Jack goes with Man in Black, he was the last one to join
Yep.
the Man in Black, but I'm not sure about that, to be honest.
Nope. But I put Jack as the last recruit pretty
Yeah.
early. But then it didn't feel all right anyway. Yeah.
So
There wasn't any last recruit at all, as far as I can see, in the good timeline.
So do you want to talk about the good or the bad?
Let's take the good, because it's a bit of putting them all in the same spot.
Yeah. Now Sun and Locke are being wheeled in on ambulance beds.
Yeah,
Sun
that
is
was good.
awakened.
Yes.
She recognizes Locke, so that was good.
Yeah.
We have some stuff with Kate and Sawyer. I didn't care for that.
At all. Not at all.
Yeah, Desmond meets Claire, and then they meet Ilana. Now, that was weird,
Yep.
but I think that was fine.
Yeah, but Desmond doesn't know who needs to be awakened, so he's taking a chance with Claire. And that was just destiny. Suddenly Ilana has been looking for him because Jack's and Claire's father is dead.
Yep, Sawyer and Miles, they catch Saeed.
Yeah.
Not much to say there. And then Jack and David go to the will reading. They meet Claire.
Yeah.
And then Jack is called away to operate on Locke.
Yeah. I was just guessing Locke, but it was Locke later on.
Now, I think it probably is worth at least asking, so this kid, David, we haven't seen the mom, but Jack talked to her on the phone.
Yep.
Is this Sarah's kid? We don't seem to know who this kid is and why he's so old and why this, he's not in the island timeline. He's the only person not in the island timeline.
Yes, that's true. But he might actually be some sort of a stand-in for Walt, for instance. It might actually be so. Claire still had her baby. Son is pregnant with another baby. So these two babies are off, but Walt is nowhere to be found, and Michael is not also inside the good timeline at all. Neither Mike or Walt.
And do you think it's obviously not Kate's kid because she doesn't know Jack.
No. I would say Sarah because we have seen her before, but she's not that important to have. She's just an ex who is having the son normally.
Well, are you saying we're not gonna get a good episode where Jack takes David to go get tattoos?
I doubt that. I really doubt that.
I'm kidding. But they seem to have repaired their relationship, though.
Yep, absolutely. And that was because he went to that recycle, and that was okay. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
He's a bit proud of his father, this David. So he's okay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I feel like Claire now has gotten screwed over twice, though. First she shows up at that lady's house, and they're like, "No, we don't want you." Then she gets this confusing thing of going to the will when she was supposed to go to the adoption agency.
Yep.
And then Jack's like, "We're gonna have to reschedule," and now she's like, "Now what do I do?"
Yeah. But now it's no use to go to the adoption agency because who knows? Maybe she's get enough money to just keep her and her baby afloat.
I guess
I
that's
don't know.
Probably true, yeah. I don't think it's about the money. I think she just doesn't feel like she can be a mom.
Well, we'll see because Jack said something in the next episode that might make her rethink.
Oh, I don't remember her being in the next one, but
okay, then it wasn't this one because he said something about you can stay at my place.
Oh, yeah, that was weird.
We are family.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, actually.
No, it was suddenly he has accepted it, but I didn't see that on Claire. Claire didn't seem to be. I mean, they're calling themselves Mr. Shepherd and Miss Littleton, and suddenly he says we're family. And it was like, what? Yet another feeling from Claire that, we are, sort of. And, of course, it's the usual thank you very much and crawling. Let's see.
So I think even though we saw a lot of people, ultimately the flashback ends with Jack, and most of the island stuff revolves around Jack. So I think you're right. He must be the last recruit.
Yeah, it feels like it. But it's not the last recruit in the good timeline, so it has nothing to do with it. But he is balancing up. He's very unwilling and not really knowing what to do on the island. But in the good timeline, he's actually very, very knowing what he wants to do. Yeah.
So I think on the island... the first thing I have noted, I might be skipping around, is that the man in black confirms that, yes, I was in the form of your dad, and now I'm in the form of Locke.
Yeah, because Locke was easy to fool. And I don't believe him. I still say that John was in tune with the island. Sure. I will never let that go, no matter what the man in black says.
Well, I think the Man in Black's saying both, though. Like, yes, John was, because he was so in tune and so blindly...
He was believing, yes.
Yeah. Now, do you think that the Man in Black was the dad, or was that the ghost of the dad?
It was the ghost of the dad. Again, I don't believe what the Man in Black says.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Because I think at least when he was in the cabin with Claire, he definitely was. He definitely was posing as the dad.
Are you pretty sure about that?
Yeah.
Because it was at that point where suddenly Claire get to know that she has a brother. And I'm not totally sure that Man in Black could know that. I don't see how he's going to get that information.
No, but I think he
guessed.
I mean, I think he just knows some things.
No, I don't buy that.
Okay.
I see Jacob going around the world visiting people, and that is a way of getting information. The other one has been stuck on the island for 500, 600, 700 years, and I don't think that he can just connect with the rest of the planet. Jacob actually had to also use a lighthouse in order to at least see what's going on. Oh, I don't believe that.
Yeah. It's not... I mean, if you take it for its word, it's clear. If you don't, it still works either way.
Yeah, it works either way.
So we'll have to see.
That's totally true, my friend.
We'll have to see if it matters later. But
yeah.
He also tells Jack that they are trapped on the island because Jacob chose them, which we knew, and he keeps on saying we all have to leave together.
Yep.
Which
we will later on see why.
Well, okay, we'll get back to that. So, and then Claire tells Jack that she's with John because the moment he let him talk to him.
Yeah.
Which, that would be bad.
Yep. Now, I don't remember who was asking what's going on, but Hurley had his standard thing. People are trying to kill us again.
Well, yeah,
I really like that cool stuff.
Was that after, because Zoe shows up and then they fire a missile?
Yep.
Or a mortar. It's a mortar.
Yep.
So, I don't have any specific notes on the rest other than just recapping what happened. Do you want to take us through?
No, but there is... I was having a bit of a question mark down here. I wonder how many is going to succeed. And before that, I have a lot of stuff that's going to be done. First of all, John is going to the Hydra Island.
Yeah.
That is important for him. Now, I'm separating them because it's not... It's like it's Sayid. For Sayid, it doesn't matter. John, yes, Sawyer is going to get a boat. And I was guessing pretty soon that it was Elizabeth, Libby's boat that Desmond used.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, Jack, Son, Hugo, and Lapidus are going to run away. And I thought that is not going to be possible. Sayid is going to kill Desmond. And I was thinking, how the heck is everything is going to fit in? I mean, if everyone succeeds, then everyone can't succeed.
Yeah, there's a lot of people going back and forth, splitting up, coming back together.
Yeah.
It's very much like it was was it season 4?
Yeah, something like
where
that.
It started with the end of how they get back or that they have to go back and it's okay.
But we do get some question marks straightened out. First of all, Desmond fixes Sayid. Desmond wonders what Sayid is going to get. So Desmond knows that the Man in Black actually are able to promise stuff that are big. So you think Sayid is now turned good, back to good, or okay? No, he is dead. He is on the dark side. But as someone said, probably Hurley, it's like with Anakin, you know.
Oh, yeah. That's really funny. So I can't remember if the prequels were out yet. If all of the prequels were out yet.
No, I don't.
Let's see.
Yeah, I think they were.
They must have been, right? 'Cause he was directly referencing those.
No, he was actually referencing the last one, number 6.
Yeah, I guess that's true. So the last one came out in 2005. So that would actually be after the show started, but before it ended. Okay, so yeah.
Yep.
So Anakin was a recognizable name at this point. Okay.
Let's see. Jack and the rest actually succeeds in running away because John had to go back and see what Sayid was doing.
Yeah.
So they just run away and Claire follows them. And they get on the boat and they are trying to reach Hydra Island. And here's something that is really making him the last recruit. Suddenly Jack is having second thoughts on the boat. And there is something in what Sawyer also says. It's you're used to giving orders. This one you just followed orders. And suddenly Jack is going, I don't want to go back. What? It was like, come on. And I understand Sawyer's, get off my boat. Actually, it wasn't his boat, but that's not the point. The point is that Sawyer is so tired of this island. He's never been off it because he was going back and forth in time. He's been La Fleur and all that. So in his case, he's actually trying really hard to get off the island.
Yeah.
Sawyer is so in character from season 1 that I totally love him for it. But Jack is suddenly having second thoughts. And I was thinking, he's not going to jump overboard, is he? But he did. Of course he did. So he goes ashore later on, and John is pretty upset with Sawyer. But he has a plan, so he can't be that upset. Let's see.
Yep.
And, our little favorite from this show, from this episode. Gene and Son, yeah.
Yeah, that was good. And
finally.
It made me think, like, while they were hugging, like, okay, what has Jin all been through? What has she been through? They have a lot of catching up to do. And now Jin can talk English. And suddenly she can talk.
Yeah.
So her little momentary lapse is done. That seems like it didn't serve much purpose, but
no, it's just as you said. We found this in a medicine book. Let's put it inside the show.
Yeah.
See what's going on. It didn't go well.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, we must know now that anything that is happening with the fans of the show is not going to change anything. They have already written the show. They've already recorded it all. And anything that the internet says or whatever, it's not going to change anything at this point. There's too few episodes left. Right?
Yeah, and then Widmore fires another mortar. Now, I mean, he knows that the Man in Black can't be killed.
Yep.
So is he just trying to kill whoever's with John at this point, or?
I think he's just showing muscles.
Because they basically end up... Basically, the show, just like at the beginning of last season when all of the people, the background camp people, got shot with flaming arrows.
Yeah.
Now Widmore's like, okay, let's get rid of every character we don't need except for the main ones, John.
Yeah.
So,
it was Sayid, John, and Jack.
Yeah. So now, Sayid was there, but is he still there though? Because I remember in the next one I don't remember.
He wasn't in place. So
Okay. Sorry, I see it in my notes.
Yeah.
That's the end of that one. It was okay. Both.
That was okay.
Yeah.
The next one is a bit strange according to my notes. I'm just going to read, and I'm not going to tell you which if it's good or bad.
Okay.
Jack saves Locke. Locke saves Jack. Charles saves everyone. Every candidate. Jack wants to save Locke even more. Locke wants to save Jack even more. Locke doesn't want to. Jack doesn't want to. Locke fixed the blame. Now,
Good
When I
job.
was writing this, I was thinking, hold it, what are you doing? And still, it all fitted together because we are talking about mirroring, balance, and all that.
Oh.
And it is true. I mean, if you're looking at it, Jack wants to save Locke in the good timeline, and with saving, he just saves him from the accident. At the same time, Locke is actually saving Jack by putting him in the canoe, and Saeed had to paddle. Oh dear.
Yeah, they were both unconscious.
Yep.
Oh, interesting.
So that is something strange. And that means that if we're going to talk about the good or the bad timeline, that's going to be a bit of a problem in the beginning.
Well, let's do the good timeline, the Flash Sideways, because it's pretty short, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, and this is where the episode title comes in, because when John wakes up,
Yep.
Jack says, "I think you're a candidate for a new procedure."
Yeah.
That's the candidate. So Locke is the candidate in
the one
Flash
timeline.
Sideways.
Yes.
Yeah. And he says no.
That brings you, if you're looking at this in a mirror, that means that Jack has to be the other candidate on the island.
I think I mean, at this point,
Yeah.
he has to be, yeah.
Yeah.
And we find out that, as we suspected, John's dad is not an evil guy, but he was in a car crash with Locke. Locke broke his back in a car crash.
No, it was in an airplane, my friend.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that's
now,
the funny part, because Locke can fly an aircraft in the good timeline, but he's dead in the other, and he probably can't fly any.
Yep. And basically, I think I forgot when does John remembers. You see it in his eyes that he remembers the island. For some reason, what I wrote down here is, so it's after the nursing home. Then I wrote, John is remembering the island. Claire comes. Does Claire come to the hospital?
No, she doesn't. Well, she does, yes.
Oh, this is where Jack weirdly asks Claire to come to his home. That was in this one.
Thank you.
Oh, and then John tells Jack that he crashed the plane and that he's afraid of letting go. And this is when Jack says to John, "I wish you believed me," which is what John wrote in the note.
Yeah.
To Jack, his death note or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's the final mirror. Yeah, so that's right. Claire comes to the hospital.
Yeah.
To find out what's going on. Yeah, John. So yeah, John was remembering
something. Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I have.
That means that on the good timeline, they are slowly moving towards the bad timeline, so to speak, towards the ocean 815 to what has already happened sometimes, but without Desmond, without Daniel. And I feel that stinks a little bit. I want to have more Daniel in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Well, it depends on. So okay, now, so here's this group of people that realize there's another timeline.
Yeah.
But the people on the other timeline have no clue, right? And
That's why I call it the real timeline.
I mean, nobody except maybe Daniel and probably Mrs. Hawking know what to do with that information. So it's still...
but that might have been revealed for Widmore. We don't know that yet.
Yeah, we don't know we're like almost done, and yes, they're starting to realize it, but what does that mean? I mean, if you were just sitting at your house and you bumped your head while you're doing Pokemon Go, and suddenly you have this realization, oh, I'm in the wrong timeline. I should have been doing this other thing. Like, I don't know that. What would you do about it?
Well, it's depending, of course. If I have a better life, where I am, but is still missing part of my memories, I would probably feel like it's repairable. I can go and fetch that by, I don't know, move to the place where I thought it should be or something. But I will not leave the good life.
Right.
And this is my problem. If they are going to merge these two timelines, it's most likely it's going to be the bad timeline who takes over. It doesn't feel like it's going to be the other way.
Well, yeah, because it would basically throw away everything that happened, right, on the show.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you do it the other way, that the bad timeline is the real timeline, that means that everything we've seen on the good timeline is actually junk. We didn't need that.
It's a shame for most of them.
Yeah, exactly.
So
this is actually something they're trying to give us something without actually giving us anything at the end. Mm-hmm. We just get it now. I'm not totally sure that I like it.
Okay. Well, we're going to find out very quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
So on the island then, did you have anything else on the Flash sideways? No.
There's nothing.
Okay, so basically, we confirm that everyone's on the list except for Kate.
Yep.
All of our friends are in the polar bear.
Hold it.
Okay.
Everyone is on the list. Who is on the list?
Well, Jack, Saeed, Sawyer, Hurley.
You mean Saeed is still on the list?
Well, he was on the candidate list. He's on Widmore's list, right?
Okay, yeah, thank you. That's something we need to clarify.
Yeah.
Quan, of course, we don't know which one still. He mentions both.
Yeah.
Hugo.
Yep.
Not Sawyer.
Ford, yeah. Ford's on the list.
Oh, yeah, Ford is on the list.
Yeah.
Good. There is one more.
I think that's it, Jack. I think that's it.
Okay.
I guess anyway. It is kind of interesting to think about for a minute that people like Bernard and Rose got also summoned to the island, but were never on the list and are just background.
Yeah, because they also had Time Flash.
Yeah.
They should be there.
So I don't know. It's weird because they definitely didn't do anything bad to get off the list. If anything, I mean, I would think they're the best candidates because they're just living their own lives in tune with the island.
Yeah, Rose is the one that's probably the best candidate. Bernard might be, but still.
So anyway.
This is how it goes down. Jack is supposed to be saving his comrades. Charles is also saving them. Everyone's saving those candidates. Suddenly, Jack is going to rescue them and get them to the plane. I don't really understood that.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I mean, basically the next thing I have is that the smoke monster shows up.
Yeah.
And starts taking out the guys defending the plane, which, why didn't he do that from the beginning?
Exactly.
And I kept thinking to myself, whenever they were putting them in the polar bear cages, why does it take an hour to set the fence up when it was already up before?
Yeah, exactly, because they have moved it, and we didn't know that.
And so then John enters the plane, and he finds that it was basically a trap. Like Widmore purposely had the fence down, purposely wanted to lure them in, blow up the plane with the candidates on it, I guess.
Yes.
Which, well,
not really the candidates. I suspect it's more like the man in black only, but he knows that he can't
kill him. Yeah.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
It's really there's a big hole in the story there. I don't really get it.
I feel like Widmore feels like everyone's expendable as long as he stops the man in black.
Yeah. There is, however, a problem, or should I say, there is a thing with this. It's, of course, the reason that the man in black gets the C4 and can use it later on. And he also shows it and shows that, look how Charles Widmore, how bad he is.
Right.
Um,
And I love the fact that he puts it in Jack's backpack.
Yep.
And he switches the two backpacks just like Jack did with Kate.
Yeah.
Back in the first season, I think it was.
Yeah.
That was a nice reference.
Yeah, but I still don't understand it. I mean, how the heck can everything be so alike that you can't really realize that you are having the wrong backpack? I mean, they have to be exact this amount of weight, both of them. They have to have exact the same thing outside of it. I mean, if I'm using a backpack, you can probably see the coffee stains on the right side of my backpack, and I would probably search for that because that's the way I can get my backpack back.
Well, I
But
guess
no, here you just hand them over, and they all weigh the same, so it's a no big problem. Come on.
Well, and it also is like, okay, so the man in black was lying. He doesn't need to get them all together to go off. He just needs them all together to kill them all at once, I guess.
Exactly. Or there are too many candidates. If one candidate had been Jacob or becoming like Jacob or closing up on Jacob, he would have probably lost already. But since no one is actually taking Jacob's place, he can just wipe them out.
Yes.
Now, says that he can take them one by one, but that I doubt.
I think so. In my mind, this is like a boss fight in World of Warcraft. So there's these candidates, and if you kill 3 of them, the last one automatically wins and becomes Jacob.
Yeah.
Now he's screwed. So the only way to actually beat them is to kill them all at once, so nobody can be the last.
Exactly.
That's like what I'm guessing is why he needs them.
That's exactly my thoughts as well.
Yeah.
Because we later see how the explosion, which Sayid helps them to fix, good on him, I say. He takes the C4 and just runs somewhere. I mean, there has to be a lot of people on this sub that could stop him or whatever, but no. It was just running around, and it was in the front of the U-boat, so it was okay. It kabooms again. It's a lot of explosions here, right?
Yeah, so Saeed is dead, basically.
Yeah.
So
let's say that he is. Let's just hope that he is.
so he...
Because he's on the good side now. He's like Anakin.
Yeah, he redeemed himself at the last minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he doesn't have anything else. I suspect Desmond has something to do with that fact that he's actually doing a good deed.
Sure.
Okay, that was fine that we were.
Yeah.
The only thing that I didn't like was the son Jin.
Yeah, this is really, really controversial. Like this episode, the end of this episode actually made a lot of people mad that basically they both give up their daughter to be together and drown together. And so, okay, first off, I'm not too happy that they were both killed just because I guess they had their arc, but like Saeed had redemption. They really just got
Suddenly
together.
met. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So-
we still have one lady that we don't need. Why couldn't she be trapped behind that stuff?
Yeah. But I mean, basically they're narrowing this down. They're narrowing this down to the last couple people to get
Yeah,
the story
it's the
done.
last 3 I have over here. I have Jack, Hugo, and Sawyer,
Yep.
who is out. And then we have Kate, and we don't know that she's not on the list.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I didn't see either of these deaths coming the first time around.
No.
And I think it was believable, like it was well shot and stuff. But definitely...
I think Jack could have getting hold of that much earlier.
I mean, Jin, like, honestly, now given like my fatherhood and stuff, Jin I feel like he gave up the daughter, and Sun should have said no don't stay with me. Go get your daughter. Like,
yeah, something like that.
sorry, I
But
took.
then, on the other hand, they are Korean. Perhaps they are thinking something not Western.
Yeah.
I don't know. Jack should have been thinking about this cramped stuff where everybody gets in, and that Locke's plan was to get them all inside, because it was Locke's word exactly that Charles Widmore wanted them all inside the plane in a cramped place where they couldn't return.
Yeah, and I guess the plane is there still, not blown up. And now if there was any more C4 on the plane, I guess that's neutralized.
Yep.
Sub is gone though, so they could. Actually,
Yeah.
do we know where did they swim to? Did they swim to Hydra or to the main
I
island?
think they swam to the Hydra. I think.
Okay.
But there is no way that the Man in Black can fool them again. And where did Frank go? There's no pilot left.
You know what? I guess he died because he got hit by the door when the water rushed in. And I don't think we did. Well, we didn't see him swim out, so he could show up again.
That's true, but I doubt that too. So now we are down to Jack, Kate, Hugo, and Sawyer.
Yeah.
And neither of these are able to be fooled again but the Man in Black. It doesn't feel like it.
Well, and also, so we still have Widmore. We still have the Man in Black.
Yep.
So we have 3 groups.
Yep, but Widmore
4.
doesn't have any people left.
We also have Richard, Ben, and Miles.
Oh yeah. Sorry about that. That's the main group. That's the important ones.
And did Claire get out of the sub? Yes. Oh, no, she's not on the sub. She's with John still.
Yes, so John and Claire are the big group in the army because Charles doesn't have any more. John just shot everyone that he could.
Oh, and we have Desmond off on his own.
Oh, yeah.
And
now we're back to have 6 groups again.
Yeah, I'm going to guess Desmond's not in the well.
Let's put it there, yeah. That should be... Saeed pulled him up.
Yeah. So
somehow.
So the next... Anything else on these 2?
No, that's...
Our 3?
That's it.
So we only have... We have 2 more episodes of our show. Next one, we're going to cover 15 and 16, which is Across the Sea. I totally know what happens in this one, so I'm not going to even guess.
Okay.
But, I mean, if you have a guess, that would be cool.
I would put it that we're going back to the main island. That's my thing.
Okay.
Or, if it's the good timeline, they are going out searching for the island.
Oh, that's a really good guess, actually.
Yeah. But that means that they are getting together, all of them, in the next episode. And somehow I doubt that. It doesn't feel like it's too soon.
Okay.
Now that they have pulled us slowly up to the final, it feels like, it will take mostly to 2 next episodes.
Yeah.
Next episode is What They Died For. Perhaps there's a lot of answers in that one.
You would hope so based on the title.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're only going to watch 2, 15, 16, and then the end, which is the title of the 2-part, we're going to do that by itself.
Yes, because
and then
it's best.
I'm thinking then we'll probably do a series recap, like the whole show.
Let's do some summary of sorts.
Yeah. And then 1 more special episode. So I think there's 4 more episodes for us.
Yeah, 4, perhaps 5. Let's.
But yes, next week these 2. I mean, it should be short. We'll see. I mean, not short meaning
You and I being short.
Meaning 2 instead of 3. That's all I mean to say.
Oh, you mean so? Okay, perhaps it's so action packed that we can talk forever.
Oh, I mean obviously they have to wrap up some. At least these 6 groups have to go down to 5.
Yeah, that's one thing. And then the big groups, 2 of them, have to go and somehow merge with the other ones. But there are 3 years in between them. That we also know.
Well, time doesn't matter, though, right?
No, we have a reason to not believe that. That's totally true.
Actually, here's a question. So let's assume that somehow these two timelines resolve. I'm not going to say come together, but somehow, wherever they're headed, the fact that there's two gets addressed by the show.
Yeah.
And separate from that, there's the conflict with the Man in Black, this unkillable bad guy. Do you think, what order do they get closure?
Not totally sure, but I have been thinking about the end, the final, so to speak. And to me, it's only three possible ways to go. One is that the Man in Black is pulled down on the island and kept there. That means that we need to have a new Jacob, because these two is acting towards each other. That's one way. The other one is the bad ending. That is that the Man in Black actually leaves the island, never comes back, and the whole planet is destroyed. I don't see that coming either, actually. And then there might be a third where the Man in Black actually is destroyed somehow. And that means we don't need a Jacob. And that probably also means that Charles Widmore is going to take over the island and whatever's going to happen after that. But that's the three ones. But if you're asking me about the groups at the moment, I would love to see another thing happen. I would love to see that we have a third timeline.
Oh.
That would be totally awesome. That is that everything is going towards... I mean, Desmond is going to do some electromagnetic thingy. And every time he does that, he goes another timeline.
So maybe like Sun and Jin come from the good one. And so like people that died in the good in the bad one come back from the good one and vice versa. And...
Yes, because there can't be two of them. That
okay,
is
well, we'll see.
actually that's also possible, but that's not the finale. That is the merging of the two timelines, sort of. Well, we'll see how it is. They are going to resolve. They have to.
I really like your idea for Across the Sea. I didn't think of that. I think it would be really cool if the people in the good timeline get on the second freighter, and then my whole two freighters theory finally comes true.
Yeah, that would be nice. Well, you know what's going on, but I don't. But I am going to find out pretty soon, my friend.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I know what happens in that episode. I know the majority of that something, but I cannot remember how they bring the closure between the two timelines. Like, I know what happens after they do, but I can't remember what it is that makes it happen.
So you're just as eager as me then to watch them, right?
Yeah, and I can't remember actually like. Well, I can remember like step 4 of a 5-part. The 5 parts that I remember 1 and 4 of what's left, but I can't remember
2 and 3
or 6.
Well, if you
5.
stop talking, we can go and watch, right?
Yes, let's do that.
Thanks all for listening.
Bye.